Pleased to welcome in now John Solomon, CEO of that self-motivated athletic agency. You saw him on the story there. And John, welcome to the show. The first thing I want to ask is, how is Brewer doing? What's the latest on him? I mean, the kid was going to try to play with a broken arm. Jeez.
Oh yeah, Dylan is a really hard-working kid. Kid that came into NAIA school, York College, Nebraska. Really hard worker. And just came to every country, did whatever it took. He was in Mexico and he got a job, and a few weeks later got cut. And then he went to England, got a job from our EEC camp in Berlin, and then went to Chile, but because he couldn't get the job in Berlin because of the visa. Then from there, came right to Taiwan and got seen by a team in Mongolia, and they gave him the contract a little bit after the injury.
Wow, certainly the star of that story, Dylan Brewer. Incredible work ethic there. Now let's go to the beginning here. Why did you create the SMAA?
I created the SMAA based on a dream. I played basketball. I worked really hard as a player, and I felt I wasn't really given a fair chance. And the idea of self-motivated was like me. Players that were motivated to try to make it. And I worked countless hours on the phone, emails, and out of nowhere I got an opportunity to go to China. And when I got an opportunity to go to China, then I got an opportunity to go to Mexico. And from there, I just figured it out and was like, well, maybe I could do this all over the world and help guys that don't really get that opportunity, don't really get that chance. And, it's just kind of like me, reflecting to me and them and, the hours in the gym. And there's just so many guys that aren't in the NBA that are good or maybe just as good as the guys in the NBA. And I figured I could try to create a platform, and just through hard work and God and just different people helping me, like, my mom and my dad letting the players stay at the house, and, my good friend Matt McCullum, who's been there with me, and Ryan Pinkall, who, has been editing and putting out the footage, and Kevin Glover, has been the way that this has gone down.
Obviously, you started this thing because you would have hoped to have had the same opportunity that you're giving some of these guys to extend your career. Now, if you had to say, what percentage of players do you get that are able to turn what you give them into a lasting professional career, would you say?
Well, a lot of the players are still playing right now, so it's really up to the player. It's so many leagues in so many countries, and different leagues rank differently. For example, Europe is considered a higher level place to go to, but like Mexico, it's still good. A lot of people don't know about the leagues in Mexico, or that they have leagues in Bolivia and Chile and even Iraq. There's so many leagues and so many places where guys can play. The players that I focus on are more guys that need the opportunity. The guys that are good players that their grades weren't good enough, and they had a personal situation where their resume is not good enough coming out of college, that I can give them a direct opportunity to be seen in front of all the coaches, scouts, and GMs of those specific countries.
John, you mentioned a bunch of different countries, a bunch of different continents. Are there differences in what somewhere like Iraq would be looking for in a player as opposed to Europe?
Well, Iraq looks for more of an explosive athletic player, and Iraq is considered what we call the Middle East market. The Middle East market also consists of like Saudi Arabia, Dubai. They like the real athletic player, not necessarily the fundamental player. Now going into Europe, Europe is more fundamentally sound, and for guys who are trying to play out there, they have to really know the game. You have to really understand the game to be able to play in Europe at a high level. But for the guys that I deal with, it's really trying to give them a start, to give them an opportunity so they can get a season under their belt and to be able to open up doors for themselves. So if they play a good season in Germany, for example, Pro B, then they can possibly move up to Pro A, then maybe the BBL, and other leagues in Europe. Now going out, Mexico, South America, last week we had a trial for the Supercopa League, and it's just an opportunity for guys to get in, play a season, and to be able to move up and play in other leagues and make more money.
It seems like there's basketball everywhere except Antarctica at this point. John Solomon, CEO of the Self-Motivated Athletic Agency. We appreciate your time. Best of luck. Thanks for all you do.
Hey, you're welcome. No problem.
All right, still to come on SportsCenter. We talked about electrifying players that Iraq wants. Kay Felder would fit in there. Maybe the most electrifying player in college basketball, playing a little early evening game tonight.